Three, two, one.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We are the Real Pineapple. We are back. This is Hunter here. I'm here with Scott. Scott, how are you doing? Scott's back. Scott, how you doing, bud?
I'm so back. I'm like Tiger Woods. I'm just the most back right now. How are you doing, Hunter?
I'm well, sir. That was nice. Saw a Tiger Woods reference, Brian. And I'm here with Colin. Colin, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to talk about some chill movies with you bros.
Yeah, this is my second favorite podcast we do each year. I do love our worst stuff because it is just it's very therapeutic to just bash movies for a solid hour and a half. But we get to talk about some movies that are really quite fantastic. I mean, as shitty as a year as it was for some movies, where I was just pissed off with some stuff we had to review, the stuff that we reviewed that I loved brought me such joy. So it was actually a very good balance this year. And I would actually say, dare I say, the stuff that I loved more was like balanced out my hate, if that makes sense. I love some of the films that came out this year. Scott, I mean, what did you think, man? You think we had a good year for movies?
I think so. Yeah, it's just the fact of trying to come up with these movies, come up with a list here was kind of challenging. Especially a lot that could have fit in my the bottom five. I always don't know how to word this when we're talking about our lists.
Oh, like your top five?
the bottom five of my top 10.
Okay.
So I feel like a lot of my list could be kind of scrambled around, but I feel like the ones that were really good, definitely, like you're saying, made you forget all the hate that you had inside for some of these other movies that came out this year. There's a lot to work with. What did you think, Colin?
Yeah, I thought there was a pretty good yin and yang here this year.
Well said.
Yeah, there was a lot of terrible movies. If you listen to our worst of lists, we really hated some movies this year. There was a lot of bad ones. But I was surprised. I thought 2017 was a pretty good year for movies. There's a broad spectrum of movies that I liked. There were some funny ones. There's some action, some indie movies, some serious Academy Award nominations that made my list. So I was pretty happy with 2017, especially following 2016, because I thought that was a little easier to make a list, or harder to really pick like a favorite, just because I just didn't think it had the quality of movies as we had this year. So yeah, I thought it was it was fun making the list.
Perfect, guys. So before, I'm just gonna go around the horn here real quick with a couple honorable mentions before we all actually jump into each of our lists. So I'm just going to throw a couple movies out real quick. Logan Lucky, really loved that movie. Actually rewatched it about a week ago. That's the best performance Daniel Craig has had in a while. And my nigga C. Tates was great.
What was Daniel Craig's character's name? Like Joe Bang or something?
Joe Bang.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Good. Well done. Yeah, fucking love Logan Lucky. Wind River, really wanted to find a spot for it, just couldn't. Jeremy Renner, man. Me and Scott reviewed that movie he did, Kill the Messenger, a couple years ago, and Jeremy Renner, man, he's a hell of an actor.
He's got quite a list.
He really does. And I don't think he gets the props he deserves. And Elizabeth Olsen was actually really good. Was really good.
Yeah, that was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, really enjoyed that movie. Marshall, starring T'Challa. It's Chadwick Boseman. Absolutely love Marshall. Just couldn't find a spot for it. And the last one I'll throw out that I think will shock some people if you've listened to us. John Wick Chapter 2. couldn't find a spot for it on the list. And it genuinely breaks my heart that I couldn't find a spot for it on the list. I was like, because my number 10 movie is where John Wick Chapter 2 originally was, and I like this other movie more, so John Wick Chapter, if I had a top 11, it would be number 11. I fucking love John Wick Chapter 2 so fucking much, and I can't wait for Chapter 3, which comes out, I believe next year is when it comes out, so can't wait for it, but couldn't find a spot for it. Colin, do you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I had Logan Lucky as well on
Nice.
my honorable mentions. Couldn't find a place for it, but like you said, I thought that was Soderbergh, right? He, yeah, his movies are fun, so I had a lot of fun with that. It was an entertaining movie. I watched it again after it came out to buy. It's on Amazon Prime now too, so go check that one out. I like that one a lot. I also had American Made with Tom Cruise.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever going to make my top 10, but it definitely was in that realm. I really had fun with that one in the theater. It's a biopic of a dude that ended up flying weapons for the CIA and then ends up trafficking cocaine back to the U.S. when he's done delivering weapons. It was a bizarre story. It was all true too. It's pretty cool. I like that one a lot. Definitely a much better movie than Tom Cruise's other movie he had out, The Mummy, which I think
Jesus
made
Christ.
a lot of our bad lists. So good for
Is
him.
that part of your honorable mentions?
What's that?
Is that part of your honorable
No,
mentions?
that was definitely on my worst of list.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, I get confused.
Yeah, and then the other one, I had a tough time finding if this was actually 2017. I guess it premiered in December of 2016, in just when it premiered in a theater, but then it had a wide release in January. So I thought I'd give it an honorable mention. Was The Founder with Michael Keaton about this.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, the story of the dude that started McDonald's Corporation. Pretty much stole the idea from the McDonald's brothers. That one of them was played by Ron Swanson, who was great. It was a really interesting story too. Another biopic, little Americana there that I thought was really entertaining. What do you got, Scott? Some honorable mentions?
Yeah, there's a couple on here. A lot of these, I like I said before, I could probably be switching out for my 5 through 10 or so. One kind of indie movie, Ingrid Goes West, I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Audrey Plaza.
Also Elizabeth Olsen in that one.
Yeah, it's like kind of a interesting, kind of creative idea that they use to kind of look at current social media and society and stuff like that. Super interesting, and kind of a fun one. Real creepy as well. They like the creep factor that they throw in there.
It's me and Colin saw it together. It is a very uncomfortable movie.
And Audrey Plaza really plays that very well.
And she that movie opens up with her macing some girl at her wedding. It was a wild opening to a movie.
And calling her a cunt. She's like, thanks for inviting me to your wedding, you fucking cunt. I was Jesus
wow,
Christ.
buckle in for this one. Let's go.
Yeah, they really set the tone right away. So that was a good one. Definitely could have been on my top 10, I think. Another action movie, Planet of the Apes. I really enjoyed War for the Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
Ooh, okay.
That was a really good one. Let's see, comedy here. Lego Batman movie was really good.
Yes.
That
Nice.
Definitely surprising. I think those movies always surprise me. I feel like
We love that movie.
Yeah,
we both love that.
it was so fun and lighthearted, and they weren't afraid to make fun of themselves, which I really enjoy about a comedy. It's just super fun, and honestly, the way that they can create these movies and incorporate Legos into everything is kind of insane when you think about it.
And it was Michael Cera as Robin too, right?
Yeah,
He was great.
yeah. And Will
Arnett
was Batman. Let's see. Another honorable mention: Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Nice.
I was kind of struggling to possibly put that one on. Not as good as the first one, but still really fun. A lot of good action. And then one that I had in my top 10, kind of debating it was, I don't even know if it's considered an indie movie. I don't know if you guys saw this one, Patty Cakes.
I saw that, yeah.
I did too.
I really enjoyed that one. Kind of a sweet movie. I think it's set in England or something like that. But this white girl rapper, just a lot of kind of a fun one. The ending was a little bit weird, but definitely would recommend that one. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
All right, gentlemen, good list to start off here. If you guys don't mind, so this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do what we normally do: go around the horn. I'm gonna do my 10 through 6, and then everyone will do that. Then 5 through 2, and then we'll go back around the horn one more time for our number 1. So I'm gonna jump in here for my number 10 movie. I love this movie so much. I think this just speaks to how good this year was, and I couldn't put this higher as much as I want to, and it's the best movie out of the attempts that they've done with this character. My number 10 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Absolutely love the movie. Tom Holland, another Brit after Andrew Garfield getting a shot to play Peter Parker, and he just nails the awkwardness and the athleticism of a Peter Parker. It's a very much a John Hughes movie. It's very much in that realm of 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink. Movie's very heavily inspired by that. Martin Starr from Silicon Valley is in the movie as the debate team teacher, and he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
And Michael Keaton, man, one of the best comic book villains we've had in a while, because he has a very reasonable motivation for being as pissed off as he is, and that's the coolest they've portrayed Vulture in a while. And if you haven't seen it, there's a scene between Michael Keaton and Tom Holland at prom in a car, and Michael Keaton just pulls his kid's trump card. I felt like, you poor bastard. Like, just thinking about being a 15-year-old, having this adult just berate you and pretty much say, I'll kill everyone you care about. It's like, damn, okay. Absolutely love the movie. And Robert Downey Jr., he's in there too, and he's great. So absolutely love Spider-Man Homecoming. That's my number 10. My number 9 is War for the Planet of the Apes. Absolutely love the movie so much. Andy Serkis, the fact this man has not been nominated for an Oscar is a fucking crime. He is so good in these movies as Caesar. And I know people say, oh, well, he's not on screen. He's doing all the motion capture. He's doing the voice. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that argument anymore. He's incredible in this movie. And this might be the biggest downer out of the 3, which is saying something because the other 2 aren't exactly uplifting. But the back and forth between Andy Serkis and Woody Harrelson's character is absolutely amazing. It's a war movie, but it's more of a psychological war than anything. And I think the movie does a really good job of portraying humanity versus fill in the blank. And it really shows the ugly side of humanity as a whole and how we can just be absolutely fucking terrible to each other. Incredible action, a very poignant ending, one of the best scores I've heard all year. I love that movie so much. The Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy is in my top 5 favorite trilogies of all time. Like, each movie gets better or stays like as good as its predecessor, and that's unheard of now. So yeah, War for Planet of the Apes, that is my number 9. My number 8 is a movie that I have to thank Colin for. Colin told me, he's like, dude, you need to watch this. Like, I think you'll really like it.
You're welcome.
And I was like, yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. Like, I actually
I don't even know what it is yet.
I saw it like a week after you told me about it. I went, fuck, Colin was right on the money on this. It's Lady Bird. Absolutely love this movie. It's very much an indie / somewhat hipster nerd, so it would fit perfect in Seattle. But it's about this. I can never remember how to pronounce the girl's name. I think it's
I don't know. She's from Ireland.
Yeah,
she has a Irish name. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a very It's a very, very, very Irish name, but and I'm just not even gonna try to say it, to be totally honest.
I think it's like Saoirse or something, right?
Here it is. Sarah Reese Ronan. There you go.
Okay.
99% of Rotten Tomatoes as we speak. God, there had to be some asshole to get under 100, but
There's always one.
Seriously, there's always one. Like, oh, this portrays women well. Oh, but this girl is just, she's in high school and she's just over people being dumb. She thinks she knows better than everyone, which, you know, most people in high school think they do anyway. But it's a really complex movie. It's about this girl really kind of embracing what is good and bad about her hometown, and really going on her own journey to discover what makes her unique and what makes her special. I'm butchering the line, I'm paraphrasing it, but she drops a line in the movie. She says, like, Sacramento, it's like the south of the West Coast or something to that effect, and I was mid sip my drink. I was laughing so fucking hard at that line. I'm like, that's a great fucking line, bravo. Like, because she's so over it, and I was like, man, this was totally me when I was living in Pismo. Just the last year I was there, it's like, I don't fucking care about anybody here, I just want to leave. So I totally related to it, and she any other year, I think she could have won Best Picture or won Best Actress, because I genuinely fell in love with her as an actress watching her in this, and yeah, absolutely love the movie. So that's my number 8. Number 7 is a movie we have not reviewed. We will review in the next month because we didn't review it when it came out, and I was actually upset that we didn't get a chance to. It's Logan, one of the best comic book movies that's ever been made. Finally, we get the Wolverine that I've been saying, hey, they should make a rated R Wolverine movie. Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? Because his power is to stab people through the fucking chest. So we should probably have...
It's a very fair point.
We should probably have a rated R Logan. And, dude, they were just like, oh, you want a rated R Logan Wolverine movie? Cool, we got you. And just, it's a Western, which is awesome to see. And Hugh Jackman, man, he puts everything he's got into this performance. And I think the last 30 minutes are one of the best third acts in the history of comic book films. When he just goes into full berserker mode, it is like, holy fuck yes. It is just, it is awesome. And then the girl who plays, I don't have her name up here, but the girl who plays X-23, their relationship is so well done. It's drawn out so well as far as establishing, like, you know, how they relate to each other and everything. And Patrick Stewart, man, I was saying after that movie he should have gotten the Best Supporting Actor nod, and I still stand by that. He is amazing in that movie. Sir Patrick Stewart, pardon me.
Yeah, have some respect.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we did talk about him on our worst of with him playing the poop emoji.
Yeah, it is kind of sad how many, like, crossovers there are.
Yeah, right? It's like, don't cross the streams, but man, like, Logan is so fucking good. It's a shame Hugh Jackman won't play the character again, but if there's a way to go out, that's the way. So that's my number 7. And then my number 6 movie, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Frances McDormand, she deserved the Best Actress win. As soon as I saw it performance, I was like, oh, it's a lock. Okay. It was pretty much like when I saw Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour. I went, okay, well, nothing's going to top this performance. She's incredible. And again, Woody Harrelson, man, just knocking it out of the park. And Sam Rockwell, who, I'm going to go on a quick rant here. If you've talked to me about movies or anything, you know one of my genuine, something that disgusts me is that Sam Rockwell never got a Best Actor nomination for Moon. It's one of the best sci-fi films ever made, and he got fucked out of an Oscar nomination that year. So to see him actually win Best Supporting Actor, I went, okay, cool, well-deserved, long overdue, but the guy's incredible. So I'm so happy this movie did as well as it did. And it does raise some really prominent issues about, you know, what, like, cops as far as how they serve us. It brings up some racial components. Sam Rockwell really likes black people in the movie. Like it's a super chill movie. Like if you're like I was I was black. I am black last I checked, and and sit in the theater. I was like, ooh, this hits a little close to home. Not gonna lie, but it's done with humor, but it's definitely that underlying humor of, hey, we're making a point while informing you. The reason it is lower on the list is because the ending did just kind of make me go, oh, like it didn't No Country for Old Men me, but I was kind of irritated by the ending of it. So, yeah, so that's my number 6. Colin, my friend, you were up. What you got?
Nice. Yeah. Let's see. We'll jump right into my number 10. So I had Logan as well. So
Hooray.
We'll start off with Logan here. I thought it was awesome. You got like a very serious story told in the X-Men universe with a incredible performance by Hugh Jackman. Kind of tying a bow on his lengthy career playing Logan and Wolverine. It was definitely cool to see him, getting this type of movie. He's had a lot of hits and misses playing Logan over the years, and it was nice to see him end on a high note. But really what put this movie over the top for me, and you talked about it a little bit, was Daphne Keane, who plays X-23.
Yes.
I mean, she was incredible. I mean, I hope when she signed up for the movie, she got like some free therapy sessions afterwards, because she probably is going to need it, at least maybe later down the line when she's just having dreams about like ripping people's heads off with her claws. But I mean, it was awesome to watch. I definitely enjoyed it. And then Patrick Stewart, like you said, he had a Sir Patrick Stewart.
There you go.
He was having a tough time. He was having a rough go. Logan was caring for him. He was having these crippling seizures, and it was just like a really intense movie, but it was done really well. You could tell there was a lot of care put into it by the director and everybody a part of it. So it was awesome. I was just really happy to see that chapter of Wolverine and Logan and Hugh Jackman all come to an end like that. It was awesome.
Just real quick, 2 quick things. They need to give what was the girl who played X-23? What was
Daphne Keane.
Thank you. Depending on what happens with the Marvel Fox merger, they need to give her an X-23 movie. I was sitting there the whole time. I was like, you need to give her own movie because she can clearly carry it. And then the second thing, Johnny Cash is hurt. That's one of the best trailers I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. I was crying at the trailer. I was like, holy shit. Okay. In the last frame of that movie, I lost it. I was like ugly crying. I was like, oh god, okay.
Yeah, the X over top of him, right?
Lost my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely lost it.
Totally. It was a powerful scene. It was cool. My number 9 is I'm gonna have a weird list. I always have a weird list.
That is true.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to be unconventional. I mean, there were so many movies from the Oscar nominees this year that I loved, and I could have thrown like so many of them on here, but I didn't necessarily. I was like, I'm gonna give other movies a chance to be on my list because, like I always say, it's my list. I'm gonna do whatever I want. So this is a little low on the list, but I absolutely loved it, and it won the Oscar for Best Picture of the Year. It's Shape of Water. I thought,
nice.
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome story. It felt like when you would watch a Disney movie for the first time when you were a kid. If the Disney movie had a mute woman fucking a fish. But
mine did.
Yeah, I mean, like in Japanese Disney, I'm sure there's shit like that.
Yeah, you're talking about Sword in the Stone.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was just, I don't know, the music, the set design, Guillermo del Toro always has, he has incredible, he always just has incredible makeup and costume design and sets, and he just puts so much care and attention to everything. His movies always look beautiful. But I think one of the main reasons I really liked it was because I was just so invested in Michael Shannon's character being stopped. Because
yes,
they paint him as like the most horrible person in the world. He's such a villain. He's like torturing this poor fish character that just wants to bone Sally Hawkins. I'm like, dude, just let the fish have sex with Sally Hawkins. It's all he wants. But I'm clearly joking and making light of it. But I mean, I love this movie. Sally Hawkins has an incredible performance for not saying a word for pretty like 95% of it. She has an incredible performance. Richard Jenkins is incredible as her neighbor. Octavia Spencer, I believe, was nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Is that right?
She was.
Yeah. She was incredible. She had a great scene when Michael Shannon burst into her house, and I mean, there was just incredible performances, and the acting was incredible. Guillermo del Toro definitely deserved an Oscar, so I was happy to see him get it. So yeah, that was my number 9. Number 8, absolutely love this movie. It was a weird movie that, like, I didn't hear about it until it was already out. But then the buzz it got was crazy. I think it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes until some troll of a dude had to give it a negative review. And I'm talking about Get Out.
Yes.
Get Out was so crazy good. But one of the things that was just so cool about it is that people did a really good job of never spoiling it for me, and I didn't see it until it was out to rent. So I didn't.
Oh, really?
I didn't see it in theaters, so I was surprised that I never actually like heard like what happened. Like, I saw the trailer, and you see her spinning the spoon in the cup, and then he's like crying with his eyes like wide open, and I'm just like, what's happening to him? I'm like, what the hell's going on in this movie? So I was like fascinated, and it had got such like great word of mouth. Like, everybody was just talking about how it's such an incredible movie. And then I was like, it's directed and written by Jordan Peele from Key and Peele. I was like, what is going on? None of this is adding up at all that it would equal this incredible movie. But then when I saw it, I mean, it's like fascinating. It's like, it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you feel like holy shit, like all this is leading up to something terrible is about to happen, and of course something terrible happens. But yeah, I mean, it was expertly written by Peele. Did he say he like wrote it and rewrote it like 20 times or something?
Yeah, well, hey, he's got an Oscar to show for it now.
Yeah, and he said like he never thought he was never gonna make it. Like I'm sure he might have kind of had this idea, and he was like gonna make it into a comedy sketch, and then he was like, this would probably work as a movie, and it really, really did. I had a great time watching Get Out. It was incredible. My number 7 is Wick 2.
Yes. Okay, I'm happy it made on someone's list.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was gonna make it on my list.
Yeah, that's fair.
I eat this shit up. I mean, more movies need to be directed by former stuntmen and stunt choreographers. Seriously. Because they just put all of their effort into just making the stunt work is as incredible as you could possibly imagine it to be. And then when you have a dude like Keanu Reeves who does all of his own stunts and is really, really good at stunt choreography and performing stunts, I mean, you just get a movie that, it doesn't need like a super in-depth plot. You just want to watch him do some gun kata and like shoot.
Ooh, calm down, anime nerd.
Hey man, I know my shit.
I know. God damn.
He just I mean, the body count again is off the charts. just completely killing a million people to the point where it's like you become numb to it. Really, you're like, oh yeah, this is another, goon without a backstory. I don't care. He's dead. That's fine. They fucking killed his dog in the first one. Dude's gonna...
True.
Like, you don't kill people's dogs. You deserve to die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, somebody needs to go take a gun to fucking some United workers who shoving French bulldogs into overhead compartments. I don't know if you heard about that story, but that happened because United's the worst fucking airline in the world. But I digress.
We just hit a very personal part of the podcast.
Yes. Getting political, but I don't know if anybody disagrees that killing Frenchies that being put into overhead bins is not considered like a horrible thing. But yeah, I don't have much else to say about John Wick 2 other than it's fucking badass. I'll watch it probably 100 more times before I die. Number 6 is The Big Sick.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a great time watching this. Kumail Nanjiani of Silicon Valley fame
So good.
was fantastic. He clearly showed that he can carry a movie for the entirety of it. And then I actually really like Zoe Kazan. I've seen her in a couple other indie movies. She's just like really fun to watch on screen. She's got a cute, witty personality. Her relationship with Kumail comes off very authentic in the movie.
Yes, it does.
And it was just really funny. It was just really witty, really funny. And then it has like a lot of heart, like really sweet story about how she ends up getting sick.
Time, but
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
And yeah, he doesn't know if she's gonna survive. Her parents show up. I don't even think he had met them at this point. And then all of a sudden they're all dealing with this together. She's basically not even awake. It's just a crazy story, and it was just really well done. The one complaint I probably could have given it, because I don't think we ever did review it, it's just kind of ran a little long, as this is very Judd Apatow-y, so
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, but it was 2 hours, but I've rewatched it, and it's just a great movie in my opinion. I just really love watching it, and it has a lot of rewatchability, which is a key thing I look for in my movies that I put on these lists. So yeah, that was my 10 through 6.
Nice,
You're up,
man, dude.
Scott.
Yep, go ahead, Scott.
Alrighty. 10. Shocker to anybody that listens to this or you guys.
Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner.
Now that would be a shocker. Yeah, coming back from 1980 to make my list. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is my number 10.
There you go.
I feel partially obligated just to put it on here because it's been in my last. It was definitely there last year.
Yeah.
I think it was my favorite movie.
Of Rogue One. Yeah.
Rogue One was, yeah. Just a lot of fun. I really like the kind of younger main characters that they've created through these series. John Boyega, Daisy Ridley. I like the way that they went with Leia and Carrie Fisher. Adam Driver was definitely a lot better in this one.
Yes, he was.
And Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis both killed it. I like that they're including them and continuing their characters on in here. A lot to love about it. You throwing some Benicio in there.
Yeah,
plays
the
DJ. Yeah. Just a fun movie, and I just get real nerdy about these and go gaga over them. And there were things that people could say that this wasn't one of the better movies of the Star Wars series, and I would tend to agree on certain points, including the training and things. But I feel like you can't really please everybody. If you do things that are old, people are going to, with what they used to do, people are going to complain that you're not doing anything new. And if you do something new, then people are going to complain that you're going too far away from the original storyline and things like that. So this is for what it was, I feel like they nailed it. A lot of good action. Number 9, this one that was kind of surprised me. I didn't really know much about it before I saw it, but Logan Lucky is my number 9.
Nice.
Just another fun movie that was unexpected. I think I watched it again. I hadn't seen it in months since it came out in the summer. Just another fun heist movie. Everybody loves a heist movie. Adam Driver is also in this. Daniel Craig with the accent kind of threw me off to begin with, but I watched it again recently and it was more bearable. So Katie Holmes is in this. Everyone has a southern accent, so it's kind of fun. That makes me happy when I watch it.
You can see Tate's.
It's like,
accent.
yeah, they have accents.
See Tate's all day.
They're acting very well. I approve. Fun movie. Number 8. This one really surprised me. I wasn't really sure how the last ones of these series where it was going to end up towards the end, but Spider-Man: Homecoming is my number 8.
My god, it made your list.
Yeah,
sorry,
I really
wasn't expecting that.
I really liked it. It was like great action. The chemistry that Keaton and Tom Holland, or what's his name?
Tom Holland, yeah.
Tom Holland, yeah, was great. Of course, Robert Downey Jr. I like the connection they made between Spider-Man and Iron Man and that whole universe and stuff like that. It's fun to see those two things interweave, but he still had his own movie. Excited. Hopefully they continue with him, and of course, gotta love Donald Glover be thrown in there.
Yes,
little cameo. Mm-hmm. A lot to like about this one. Gwyneth Paltrow did a great job. Jon Favreau did kind of tied everything together there. Yeah, just they really made him that likable, jovial teenager type character that you expect out of Spider-Man. I feel like because he's a young kid and he's soaking all of it in, and just is the kind of how naive he is pretty charming. So good movie. Number 7, it's kind of a hard hitter, talking about the political issues. Detroit was my number 7. Really powerful movie. Gave you a kind of sneak peek into the 1967 riots in Detroit.
Yep.
And just the sequence, a lot of this movie is set in one house, and the events that go on in the house, so intense and enthralling, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Not a lot of stars necessarily in this one, but I tend to prefer that in movies sometimes, people I'm not super familiar with, and kind of seeing who has chops and who doesn't, and everybody really kind of pulled their weight. And there's a character, Chris Chalk plays him, Officer Frank. He's a black cop, and just like the interaction between the cops and the people at the house is just insane. And the fact that it's covering like based on true events and stuff like that makes it crazier. So Detroit's my number 7. Number 6 was one that really surprised me, because you don't really know how DC is gonna do as they're putting these movies out. Haven't really been great lately. but Wonder Woman really came through and just
Holy wow! Wonder Woman's on your list. What is happening right now?
I really liked that movie. It was Gal Gadot just was kicking ass, and I feel like action movies stepped up their game this year.
I agree.
And made you feel something rather than just throwing the blood and gore and the action at you just to please you. Gal Gadot killed it. Chris Pine, obviously, McDreamy.
He's so hot.
Yeah, just probably the hottest guy on my list, I would say.
Ooh, I like that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan's
Number
great.
Number
list.
one. Number 2, Hunter. Robin Wright, she's always great. She's been in a lot of really good ones. Ewan Bremer, who I don't see very often, but I always like him in a movie. So that is my number 6. Wonder Woman, just like the action, and the way that they were able to, choreograph things. The CG was good. I felt like the villain was, fitting. Yeah, it's just I think they really killed it with that one, and that says a lot, especially with the movies that DC has put out recently. So, yeah, Hunter, back to you.
All right, dude. For half a second, I was a little scared. I'm like, oh god, he's not about to say Justice League. I'm like, oh god.
That's what I thought too, and then I was like, "Oh wait, Wonder Woman came out last year."
Yeah, I was like,
that
okay,
makes more sense.
That's like fair enough. But though, man, it's funny. I was talking to someone about Wonder Woman, and I rewatched it. I actually own it. I bought it. It's a fucking great movie, man, and it represents what DC could be. So I hope they can continue on that trend. But hey, good start to the list, man. So my number 5 is Black Panther. No, I'm kidding. My number 5. It came out this year, Hunter. It doesn't count. I know. Okay.
Use it for both years.
Yeah, I'm giving you a peek into my list for this year. But my number 5 is Ingrid Goes West. Absolutely love Aubrey Plaza in this. I think Scott brought it up as an honorable mention. We forgot to mention Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. He's fucking awesome in this. He plays this Batman fanatic, and I remember because Colin was in town, so we actually saw us together. And so there's this scene where he's fucking Aubrey Plaza, who's wearing like a cat, like dressed as Catwoman, basically. And Colin looks over at me, and whispers, he's like, "You would totally make a girl do this." But when I started laughing, I was like, "You know me so well." But this movie, it's really awkward. It's really uncomfortable. It goes to some really uncomfortable places. I love the way it is very much a cautionary tale of social media. And I remember there was a point heading into the movie, I was looking at my phone to check on something, and I went, "Wow, I feel like a piece of shit. Thanks, movie." But it does a really good job of just being like, hey, like cautious, like, hey, like you might need to chill on social media as far as how important it is to you, because she's like looking at her phone, every minute for notifications and shit like that. And I fully admit I'm definitely guilty of that. But the movie is so well done, and it gets really frantic in the last half hour or so. But it does wrap up in a way that's ironic, but it's still cautionary, which is a really tough balance to strike. So kudos to them for even being able to pull that off. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is one of the best sci-fi movies that's been made in 10 years. Me and Colin practically blew the movie for a while when we reviewed it. It's Blade Runner 2049. So just a quick segue here. Colin has always been one of those people who's told me, "Dude, Ryan Gosling's the shit. Ryan Gosling's the shit." I was like, okay. And then I saw him was like Crazy Stupid Love, and then I saw Drive, and then I saw Place Beyond the Pines. I'm like, wow, this guy is fucking talented. This is his stamp, proving he's one of the best actors in Hollywood, because he knocks this shit out of the park. Whether it's a scene with Robin Wright, or it's him and Harrison Ford verbally jousting, essentially, or one of the best fight scenes of last year with him and Dave Bautista. Ryan Gosling's the shit, and this movie really proves how amazing He is. This is some of the best cinematography I've seen in a movie maybe ever. And the guy who's the cinematographer on this, who's been nominated, I believe it was 13 times, finally fucking won this year. I was like, good for you. It's an amazing, amazing movie with one of the best scores I've heard in a movie in the last 5 years. I actually have the score saved on my phone. And just a very thought-provoking, very deep movie. I love a good sci-fi movie. I think ever since Ex Machina and District 9, we've seen this resurgence of great sci-fi, which makes me so happy growing up watching shit like Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and, reading 1984, stuff like that. It's so great to see great sci-fi being pushed again. And this is the cream of the crop. Absolutely love this movie. So that's my number 4. My number 3 is the best picture winner this year. It is The Shape of Water. Del Toro, man, this is the best movie he's made. Colin, you hit the nail right on the head, from the set design to the cast that he got, to the fact that Michael Shannon is one of the biggest assholes I've seen in a movie in years. There's this point where he's fucking his wife, and his hand was like, his finger was like attached back on because the monster fucking bites it, and he puts his fucking creeper like disease hand over his wife's mouth. I'm like, you are a winner, sir. Like, he's such a piece of shit. And there's a point where he's talking to Octavia Spencer and Sally, is it Ferguson? The main girl, or the main actress.
Oh, Sally Hawkins.
Hawkins, thank you. Sorry. But he's talking to them. He's like, "Oh, why am I talking to the help, the shit cleaners?" I'm like, "What the fuck is your problem?" He's such a fucking douche. And I found myself laughing at the movie, but not in a bad way, because he's evil in like the way that Snidely Whiplash was. Just like, he might as well be tying these bitches to railroad tracks. It's like, what the fuck is your deal? Like, why are you so evil? And the ending, his comeuppance, I felt vindicated. I was like, thank God you got what you deserved. I fucking love Shape of Water, man. Such a great movie. My number 2 is, in my opinion, one of the best directed things I've seen in the last couple of years. It's got one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. It's Baby Driver. Ew. Absolutely love this. Mm-hmm. Absolutely love this movie. Edgar Wright. If you've listened to us since the beginning, we've all made no qualms. We all love Edgar Wright. This month we're going to be reviewing. We're going to talk about our favorite comic book movies ever. Spoiler alert: Scott Pilgrim's on there. Scott Pilgrim's one of my favorite movies ever, and I didn't think Edgar Wright could direct something as good, if not better, than Scott Pilgrim. And I went, oh, Baby Driver exists. Pardon me. John Hamm. Can we just say, first off, John Hamm should have been Superman. Just throwing that out there. But John Hamm is such a great villain in this movie, in the way he plays off of Angel. I can't remember how to say it. I think it's Eshort or Elhort. Plays off of Baby. Is so cool. Jamie Foxx is insane in this. I almost said that his name was Motherfucker Jones, but like, that's not true. That's Former Bosses. But yeah, I was like, oops, wrong movie. But
he should just always be Motherfucker Jones now from every movie.
Yeah, just Motherfucker Jones shared universe. I would watch that, but yeah. He's great in it, and Kevin, hey, don't come to my hotel room, Spacey. He's
don't lie, he's like it.
I know. Yeah. Talk about a House of Cards falling. But anyway, he's really... I mean, say what you will about the guy and the fact that he doesn't... that no is not a word that he recognizes, but he's really good in this. And then... and I'm blanking on the actress's name, and I should know... and I should know if I've seen her in other stuff, but... she's amazing in this. And their back and forth is just... it's just so well done. Lily James, their back and forth is so charming and sweet. It's honestly like Grease for this generation. And when I pitched that to someone, they went, "Wow, that's actually very accurate. That's what this is. It's way better than Grease, but that's what this is. It's Grease for this generation." And the stunt work is so good. The Punisher, John Bernthal, makes a cameo in it, which was pretty great. I love the movie. I love where it ends up. In the ending, it's very, well, what do you think happened? And some people were irritated by that. I fucking love that it leaves it open for you to interpret. So, yeah, Babe Driver, my number 2. Colin, let's throw it back to you, man. What you got?
So for my number 5, this is a weird one. I know that already. I don't even know if you guys have seen it. It was a very indie movie, but it won several awards to kind of get it picked up, to get a little bit of distribution, but I don't even think it was in theaters. It might have gotten a limited release, but it's called Brigsby Bear.
Yes, I did see that.
Did you watch it? Okay,
I did. Yeah.
So I just saw it on to buy on Amazon, and I just saw the cast list, and I just kind of looked at. I just had nothing to watch, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Brigsby Bear." I don't even know what it is. The only description I read is, and I'll read it to you now, which is what I read at the time, says, Brigsby Bear Adventures is a children's TV show produced for an audience of one, James. When the show abruptly ends, James' life changes forever, and he sets out to finish the story. That's all I read. That is wildly, underestimating what this movie becomes. It is
very true.
Yeah, basically just the floor drops out right off the bat. But I don't. The movie is just so incredibly charming. Probably because what's happening to James is so traumatic and crazy that this movie clearly could have had a way more serious tone. But it was basically it was written by one of the Emmy award-winning writers from SNL, who works with the main character of the movie, Kyle Mooney, who I love. So it's all a very serious story, but it's all written with tons and tons of humor, which I absolutely loved. But it's a very sweet story, and it's very endearing. Kyle Mooney his character is incredible because all of this horrible stuff is going on. Everybody's trying to figure out, like, hey, are you okay? Like, all this stuff just happened. You must be, like, floored. And all he cares about is he just wants to know what happens to Brigsby Bear. Because it's his favorite TV show. And there was just something so endearing about it, and just him not caring about everything that's going on around him and just focusing on a goal. And then when it all pans out at the end, you know, there's a scene where he's finished the movie and he's like puking in a bathroom, and he can't even watch it, and he's sitting out in the lobby and he's waiting for the reaction of everybody that's watching it. And it's just like, for a movie that had no business being like really emotional to me, like it was just like a really powerful scene, and it just was like really well done. And it in all of the charm and a lot of the, you know, emotion that comes out of this movie is all the interactions with the characters that are in it, and everybody, just a lot of great performances and a lot of good chemistry of the cast. So I know that's a random one, but I absolutely loved it. I've watched it twice. I'm gonna watch it more, and I don't know. I was like, I have to put it on my list. I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I love it.
I really enjoyed the hell out of that movie. So that's a great pick, man.
Number 4. I think you had it on your honorable mentions, Hunter, was Wind River.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about Jeremy Renner. I like this style of movie where it's a very kind of slow burn. There's a mystery. It's a murder mystery. You know, an FBI agent is coming and trying to help solve a murder on a Native American reservation, so they only have one designated kind of sheriff type figure, so he needs help solving this murder. So she comes in, but it's in the middle of winter. It's covered in snow. The only way she can get to this place and figure out how in the world this person died was by getting the help of this, fish and wildlife tracker that lives out there. And basically how the way the story unfolded and how everything just kind of like built and you learned the layers upon layers of these characters and the story that actually played out. I just thought it was incredible. It's probably, it's not a type of movie that's probably gonna get that Academy Award type of buzz, but I don't know. I just found myself glued to the screen more so probably than a lot of other movies. So I don't know. I just thought it was awesome. So as number 4 there, number 3 was nominated for Best Picture, and the actor won Best Actor. I'm talking about Darkest Hour.
Nice.
I just love Gary Oldman.
Great movie.
Gary Oldman's awesome. I'm so happy he got an Oscar for best performance. I never thought I was gonna get into history. Like, I never really cared or paid attention to it in high school. I think I maybe took one history class after high school. But I never really had an interest in it. But now, as I'm getting older, I don't know why, but I'm becoming fascinated with World War II, and I just probably because it's so important to how our world is now and how everything has basically built from then. But I went to England recently, and Winston Churchill is God over there.
Is he really?
Yeah, Winston Churchill is worship. There's statues, one of the biggest things to do when you're in London is go to the war room where Winston Churchill planned out their strategy during World War II, or you can go to Winston Churchill's favorite pub where he would go have a brandy at the end of the day and smoke tons of cigars. So it was cool to this giant figure of a war was then so humanized in this movie, where you get to see kind of the lighter side of him. Apparently he was actually really funny and witty, but he was also a super complex person. He had to have everything laid out for him in a certain way. He had countless secretaries that worked for him. The secretary that is in the movie is actually, I think, the actress you were talking about in Baby Driver.
Oh, that is holy shit.
Yeah, it's the same. I know. I was watching the movie and I was like, she's so familiar, and her name's Lily James. Yeah, and she was. Yeah, she was Deborah in Baby Driver, and I was like, oh damn, she's a really great actress. So that was cool to see her in that. But yeah, I mean, the long and short of it for Darkest Hour is just Gary Oldman. He's incredible.
I'd give her my darkest for an hour. Sorry.
Yeah. Well done. Okay, we'll end on that note. So, good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, Darkest Hour is number 3, and then number 2, Hunter, you just talked about it. I'm glad it made your top 5. Blade Runner 2049.
Yes!
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, you were talking about how much I love Ryan Gosling. That's not a lie. I love him a lot. And then also I wanted to give a shout out to Harrison Ford too. I feel like he's done a lot of stuff in his later age, and people are kind of wishy they don't really know if he's that great of an actor anymore. So he's good in some things, and other things you could probably make the argument he's kind of mailed it in. But this, I thought he did an authentic, really great performance opposite of Ryan Gosling, so that was cool to see. But definitely the star and the highlight of this movie is Denis Villeneuve, his direction and all the cinematography, and I think it won two awards. You said the cinematographer finally got an award, like you said, Hunter.
Yeah.
And then it got one other award, I think, for special effects or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like you said, it's awesome to see some really great sci-fi. being done. Dennis Villeneuve is going to do Dune now, which should be interesting. I was never a fan of the first ones, but
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But this one, I thought he just hit a home run. Coming off of Sicario and Arrival, he's clearly been hitting some home runs. So Blade Runner 2049 was, I thought it was no exception. It was awesome. Yeah, that was my number 2 favorite of the year. Loved it.
But before we throw it to Scott, can I just say real quick, if there's good movies out, especially for sci-fi, go support good fucking sci-fi so we don't keep getting shitty Transformers movies. Please, for the love of God, if something good is out, go out and support it. Just don't bootleg that shit. Sorry, just had to go off on that. Scott, my friend, what you got?
I would almost argue that because of their popularity, there's such things as Transformers. Because people love them so much, they're like, oh, we can put out some shit, and people will still watch. But that's just my 2 cents. Okay.
Fair enough.
Number 5. This was one of the couple war movies that were out. You guys enjoyed it, but not quite as much as I did. I really liked Dunkirk.
Yeah,
I think Christopher Nolan really did a great job in letting the movie just be what it is. That did lead to some confusion that I will totally concede. But I think overall, like, the point of it was to really feel and, like, see and be a part of, like, these events. And I think that was accomplished. He wrote and directed that guy. But they kind of changed through characters a little bit throughout this, so you don't really get a good chance to zone in on one or another. But I think that's part of the idea, is just the nameless, faceless soldiers that fought and died in World War II in Dunkirk. But yeah, Fionn Whitehead, just to name a few, Damien Bonnard, all guys I'm not super familiar with, but Tom Hardy as well. He had a smaller role, but really kind of added that grit that you would expect from a good war movie. So yeah, that's my number 5. Number 4, we already touched on this a little bit. I thought Logan was outstanding. Just the emotion tied to this one was great. It's kind of hard because you don't really get that not a lot of mutant on mutant battling except towards the end, but you do get a different look at it, especially in terms of of Hugh Jackman, and he's getting older. I like kind of a grizzled Hugh Jackman personally.
Yeah, me too.
You like the salt and pepper, do you?
Oh yeah, I do.
And then Charles Patrick Stewart being so limited and handicapped was really different to see, and I'm glad that he went all out with that because it added a lot to the story. We definitely already touched on Daphne Keane. She killed it. I really enjoyed Logan. It's a great action movie, but that really wasn't the point of it, and the reason why I loved it, the way that they were able to incorporate just such emotion into it. I would never thought with a Wolverine character that would have been possible. Number 3, I heard such good things about this movie. I saw it a little bit later on after it came out. But when I finally did, I thought that The Big Sick was one of the best movies of this last year.
Nice.
And the fact that it was partially written and starred in by Kumail Nanjiani was... I really like him as a comedian and as an actor, personally. Zoe Kazan as Emily, they really mesh well together. I think it was kind of a heartbreaking story, but you wanted to be along for it. It sort of reminded me of, was it 50-50?
Yeah.
Good pull. I love that movie.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, kind of the same feel. I guess they both involve people being sick, but that was
Common
kind of
theme, yeah.
common theme. But I feel the mood was very similar and super, very, very funny, and in ways that weren't overtly funny. Just their relationship between Emily and Kumal was very endearing. So yeah, really loved that movie, and glad that it did well. Next, Hunter touched on this. We have in the same spot. Number 2, Baby Driver.
Hooray!
Such a fun, maybe the funnest movie of the year.
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright just is so fun to watch. The way he puts movies together, the stunt work in this movie is incredible.
Top notch.
And more so, not over the top, just to the point of it seemed realistic to the point that they had the camera angles, and the soundtrack was just spot on. It was continuous throughout the entire movie. Each scene basically had its own song and mood, and the way that he was able to just move you along through the story was really, really fun to watch. Sorry, I'm moving back and forth. John Berthal, John Hamm, of course, and then I feel like Jamie Foxx kind of pulled one out of this one. I didn't really expect him what to expect out of Jamie Foxx in this one, but I really enjoyed his character. And then Ansel Elgort. Yeah, just stone-faced, really fun to watch. Yeah, it's a great movie. To go along with a lot of really good ones. And say in my top 5, it was kind of a toss-up, but the way that I get a lot out of the music of a movie, and especially if they use it effectively, it really pulls me in emotionally. So yeah, great movie. Hunter, what's the big numero uno?
So if you've listened to the podcast for last year, it isn't going to be a surprise. I know it's not like I'm never going to be like whatever, shocker. My number one movie. You know, I'm gonna let you guess, Scott. What do you think my number one movie is?
Boy, is it Black Panther?
That's next year, silly.
I could 100% guess it. No doubt. I know what it is.
All right, you want to take a shot?
Yeah, go for it.
It's Get Out.
Bing! Colin gets the square. It is Get Out. I had Shape of Water at number. So I've redone my list. I've been working on this for a while, and we've all been talking about. We've all been working on our list for a minute, and I kept going back and forth like Baby Driver, Shape of Water, Get Out. Like which one is my number one? And I rewatched Get Out. And I just remember the genuine uneasy feeling I had watching that movie. When he goes into the sunken place, that is a fucking horrifying scene. And the fact that he can cry on command, I went, that is really impressive. And it is very much like The Sixth Sense, where they leave all these little breadcrumbs for you. But then when they reveal everything, you're like, oh shit. But then you can go back and actually see, oh yeah, you actually led me here. And you just did a good job of, keeping stuff in focus, but just out of sight. I just wouldn't think about it. This movie's incredible. It really is. It made me very happy to see Stephen Root in this too, because I just love Stephen Root. There's so many just great performances, whether it's Daniel Kaluuya, who of course was in Black Panther, yay! Allison Williams is the first good thing she's done in her career, because she was in Girls. That's a dog shit show. Fucking hate Girls.
I love how much you hate that show.
Oh my god, I hate that show. Oh hey, we're white and we're cute and we're in New York, but we have so many problems. Fuck you. I just fucking.
They're not that cute.
Well, we're not talking about Leah Dunham, but fucking whale. But anyway,
oh my god.
Sorry, girls. That's one of my triggers. But oh yeah,
well,
Get Out. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, Get Out. That's what I was talking about, right? But Jordan Peele, man. I mean, this is his first movie, and again, this is one reason why if I ever meet Tyler Perry, I'm like, how are you so bad at your job? This is for Jordan Peele's first movie, and he wrote, produced, directed the shit. Wins an Oscar right out the gate. One of the best reviewed movies all time, and in a horror movie on top of that, might I add. I mean, which is a genre that is just watered down so often, you know, and this is something that is socially conscious, is very aware of what it is, and it's directed so confidently. Jordan Peele knew exactly what he was doing, and he's talked about how he's going to make more movies in this realm as far as being socially conscious, and I go, good, fucking awesome, whatever you got, man. This is an incredible piece of art, and if you haven't seen it, you really should. It's on HBO, so you have no reason to not watch it. Get Out is, for me, the best movie of the year. Fucking love it. You know, we're gonna save Scott for last. Call him, my friend. What you got, man?
Nice. So my number one is probably not going to be a surprise, and if you've noticed, there's one I haven't said that both of you just recently said. My favorite movie was Baby Driver.
Yay!
You guys already talked a lot about it, but what I can add is I definitely have always loved Edgar Wright. Even some of the movies that people don't like as much, I still love. Like The World's End, I still think is a great movie.
It's so great.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, one of my favorites.
Yes.
And then like the originals with Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are classics, of course. Just his style he brings to the table is so refreshing. Every time one of his movies comes out, I get so excited. His sound editing, his quick, witty style of dialogue, and how scenes jump around is just really fun to watch every time he's making a movie. And then what he really tried to go for in this movie was just showing off his love of music and how music can narrate a story sometimes just as well, if not better, than actual dialogue, which is really cool. And Ansel Elgort, none of us can say his name very well. Which I apologize, because he was really cool in this movie. You know, he has his good dialogue, but a lot of the time he's just listening to his music, and his music is kind of narrating his mood or what's going on in the scene. And when I saw the previews for this and it was going to come out, I remember you kind of got the gist of what this movie is going to be like. It was going to have incredible music with awesome car chase scenes, some of the best car chases I've ever seen, and some of the best stunt car driving I've seen in movies, which is always a good time. But you know, I was, when you kind of advertise your movie as being this great action driving movie, with, you're gonna have kind of songs that will make scenes iconic, you know, you get really interested in what songs they're gonna choose, because that can kind of make or break a scene. And I thought his song choices were like songs I would have never thought to use, and he uses them in such an interesting way. It was like, just blew me away with how well all these songs worked. This movie is infinitely rewatchable.
Yes.
You can rewatch one scene, whether it be a car chase or a gunfight or people sitting around a table having witty banter back and forth, and it's always going to be a good time. So, yeah, I think that kind of sums up why this movie, Baby Driver, was, in my opinion, the best movie of 2017.
There you go.
Well said.
Scotty.
And now, and now, the man, the myth, the legend, Scott. What you got, man?
Great call on Baby Driver. I was back and forth on putting that one first or not. Just like such a fun movie. Yeah, Hunter, me and you are just on a wavelength tonight.
Really? Oh shit!
Get Out was like a holy shit movie.
Hooray!
Like when you're watching it, it was like, this is insane, and I love it, and I can't look away. The main character Chris, and like honestly, Missy's character Catherine Keener played was
creepy as hell.
You could argue just as creepy, or if not creepier, than the mother or the other parts of the family. Just the way that he was manipulated, and his relationship with his best friend Rob, played by Lil Ray Howery.
Yeah,
that was hilarious, and the ending that tied that all together was just perfect. But yeah. Just to name a few, like Heath Stanfield, who is also in Atlanta, who I adore.
Yes.
He was in this, played a great character that was already sort of mummified, so to speak. And they didn't really hold back as far as... They kind of took it to a weird place as far as the resolution of this movie, of what is actually going on. Because the whole time you're wondering, okay, something is up. He's realizing something is up. And you don't know what it is. And then when they kind of reveal what it is, it's sort of out of left field. I thought it was more of like, hypnosis based. It kind of was. But what they were actually doing was way more fucked up. And... Yeah. Just the whole movie, you have that, feel comfortable the whole movie, because you feel like it's just, there's really awkward points where you're like, okay, this family might just be really racist, and then it turns into really creepy, and it's such a fun and horrifying ride. I love movies that are scary, but that take their time with it, and they don't feel like they have to have these make you jump scenes just to be scary. I love the psychological thrillers. And Jordan Peele, holy shit, like,
right?
Good on him. Wrote and directed this movie. Just killed it. Obviously put a lot of time into it. So yeah, Get Out, I think was the best movie of this last year.
Yeah, I definitely was more afraid of white people walking out of theaters than I normally am. I was like, whoa! I was like someone was like afternoon. I was like,
yeah, well, I was like worried for him the entire, like, man, watch out for that white person.
Yeah,
there's a cop behind you, watch out. Like, it's, yeah.
Don't make me keep really whitey like it was like.
Yeah, you really feel that paranoia.
I'll promise never to stir a teacup around you, Hunter. I don't want to scare you.
So real quick, I actually saw this with my friend Forrest. And so we saw it on Saturday, and then Monday afternoon he started spinning a spoon in his teacup, and I threw like one of my pop Funkos at him, and it barely missed his head. I'm like, don't fucking pull that shit out. I was like, good. Great. I was horrified, man, dude. Oh god. But gentlemen, well done, man. So guys, that is our best of 2017. What I would love to get people's best of, because I've heard multiple things from Shape of Water to Lady Bird to Wind River. Like, I would love to know what people's, as long as your number one isn't The Snowman, you probably have a decent list. So I would, or The Mummy, none of that shit. But guys, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Let us know what your top 10 is for last year. You can follow us on SoundCloud, Podbean, and iTunes at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Colin on Twitter at
The Real O'Neill.
And you can follow Scott on Twitter at
Newman the First.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We are going to have reviews up this weekend for Pacific Rim. How have we not talked about fucking Pacific Rim Uprising?
Fucking yeah.
Like, I saw it came out this weekend. I was like, oh, Colin's losing his shit. I was like, yes, Uprising, baby. So we'll talk about that. And we will have a review up for. I'm gonna go see Tomb Raider as well. I will. Hopefully, it's better than Assassin's Creed, so I will go see that. Have a review up as well. And just so you guys know, there will be a review up for Jessica Jones season 2. I'm trying to power through that.
Ooh, yeah, I'm getting through that right now.
Yeah, so I've actually been powering through that. So we will have a review up for that probably next week. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Meow.